Good morning and welcome back to another SaTAROTday with Salann. Ooh. Got a fun deck this morning and we will get started right after the intro. All right, so welcome back. I know we missed last week. Sorry about that. Lots of stuff going on, but here we are. Today I am using Tarot of the Gnomes. This is by Giordano Berti and artwork by Antonio Lupatelli. And I decided to go ahead and use this deck. It's a new deck that I have recently acquired. But it is Tarot of the Gnomes, like I said, and that to me is a good sign of consistency. I have no clue what I'm saying there. But it's in alignment with where the sun is right now, which is in Virgo. So we are in my home sign, my birth sign for sun and for moon. So I figured, you know what? Gnomes are of the north. North is of the earth. Earth is Virgo. So let's see if we can use a deck that is aligned with that. So I've never used the Tarot of the Gnomes before. It is a Scarabeo deck, and one of the things I don't particularly like about Scarabeo decks in many cases is that the way that they're bordered with lots of different words and sometimes leading words and different languages, which I don't mind the languages so much. It's more like, for example, the world. It doesn't so much for the major arcana. And of course, every card I'm looking at right now is a major. So, like a minor arcana, the Ten of Swords, it says in it betrayal. Well, that's not how I read a Ten of Swords. So, literally, I pull the card and it says betrayal on it, but I'm not reading it as betrayal. Even though that is a standard definition, it's not the only standard definition, let alone an interpretive definition. So, not my favorite thing when I see the words on there like that. That's common in Italian style cards, and well, really a lot of styles of cards, but Scarabeo does that quite a bit in some of its decks. So regardless, it's a cute deck. I like it. It's of the Gnomes, which I love. It's in Earth alignment, so I just figured we'll make sense and make do with it as we go. Anyway, so we're going to jump right in and get started and see what energies come today from our tarot. I just feel like shuffling a couple more souffles. Hope everybody's been having a good couple of weeks. The last few weeks, energy has been calming down a bit and refocusing. I know last week we did do our service. And in the service, we talked a little bit about those energies and kind of how things have been moving throughout the week. And we've got a calmness on our hands. We've got a refocusing. And maybe calmness actually isn't the best word because it's focus. It's less noise around us. That doesn't mean it's calm. It's just less noise. So that the things that we're seeing, hearing, and feeling are definitely clearer and more directed. And I think that is really where energy has been moving towards as a whole. Now, as a weekly thing, sometimes that's a little different. So let's go ahead and get a couple of cards here and see what we're doing with. The Hierophant. Now, funny. We went to a education class last night with our friend Joy that everybody knows and Joy. I'm sure you'll probably watch this today. I'm not sure if you noticed this, but one of the gentlemen in the group was pulling quite a few cards, pulled the Hierophant for himself, then pulled the Hierophant again last night, and then in the other, we pulled a lot of Hierophants. Let's just put it that way. Which is fitting when you're in a class, right? I mean, that just makes sense. But this morning, my first card is the Hierophant. And we often look at the Hierophant as first a teacher. That's the first thing that I see. But also does represent the whole wisdom and kindness of what a teacher represents. And it can also represent following bad advice and getting things that are not really the way they're supposed to be for you. Excuse me. In this perspective, for me, for an energy read, this is talking about open learning and open teaching. And what I mean by that is the minimal formal, be ready to teach and be ready to listen. And this is going to be a long-lasting energy because I think it's a way to live anyway. But with the Hierophant showing up right now, this is saying over the next week, look, you need to pay attention to what's going on around. You need to listen. You need to allow yourself to learn from other people, and you need to be confident in your ability to teach others. Maybe you're new to the occult and you've learned something from somebody recently about the elements, for example, since that was what Joy's class was on. And so you've learned this new stuff about the element and you're feeling like a beginner. You're like, well, I have nothing I can teach these people. Talk anyway, because I will tell you, no matter how new you are, you will be teaching others, so be open to that. Hierophant wants us to be open to that, wants us to be both giving and receiving of information, advice, and things that can alter our perception, no matter how big or small, because the effect is the effect. So Hierophant energy says, and I'm going to put this out there, it's not just for next week, because the Hierophant is always good advice when it comes to how to be open to teaching and learning. In the read, it's going to be really easy right now. It's going to come really quick to you. Our second card is the Seven of Pentacles. Now, coins, I think, is probably a better representation here as I'm looking at this. It's a coin there, but Pentacles, Earth. This is unaligned with not just the Gnomes, but, like I said, we're in Virgo now and everything that's happening. So the Seven of Coins, I really like the idea of, what should I say, consistent process of the journey between. So when you look at the tarot, for me, from 0 or 1 to 10, and the pip cards or your minor arcana, they are journeys, right? It's all about cycles and journeys and things returning to where they came, but in a different way, and then reaching back out to in a different way. And these cycles are continual. So if you think about a cycle, in one way, it's a circle, right? So we're all in a cycle. But if we're all in a cycle, just in a circle, we stand still. And we don't want to stand still, right? Life doesn't stand still. So this cycle becomes a forward motion cycle. So the cycle continues, but it moves. Now what do you have? You got spirals. Spirals is a very, very big system in really anything in the world. So as the circle and cycle moves, yes, you are going to return to some of the things that you have, but you're returning to them with different eyes and different perspectives. So and the reason I point that out isn't because of this specific card. It's just that's the journey. So sometimes we think about through the journey, there are good and bad things that happen, but they're all necessary for the cycle to complete. When you get into this, the 5, 6s, and 7s, that's the middle of the journey. If you look at it as a beginning to end and a restart, right? So that middle end of the journey is really the hardest part. It's the hard work. It's really the meat and potatoes of what's in the center of all of this. So you'll often hear like the 5s might be difficulties and strives, and the 6s are like, take a breath, it's okay. Well, the 7s are more about like you're getting ready to get to the last piece of this, so don't stop, don't hesitate. It's time to push forward. So in Earth time, this goes right along with our first card, our Hierophant. Don't hesitate. Go ahead and go out and do the classes. Go out and meet people. Go out and spend time with your family and your friends, whether they are chosen or given, and really just don't hesitate from the things that you're doing. This is a forward motion card. Think about it in little triads, right? You have the 1, 2, 3s. You have I put kind of the 7s in it. The 4, 5, 6, 7 in the center, and then the 8, 9, 10. So that's your triad, your 3 sections. You have the beginning, middle, and end. And this is the edge of the middle, going into the beginning of the end of that cycle or that learning or that process. So the Hierophant tells you you're in the middle end of that cycle. So you are in a place of giving and receiving. No hesitation. Don't hesitate. Don't stop. That's the message. Don't wait on things to come to you. Just go out and get them and do them. But do them from an earth perspective, though. Do it logically. Do it strengthfully, if that's the word. And our third card is also a coin. I think this is a queen. I'm going to double check that because there's no number in the card. It looks like a queen, but I don't want to assume, since I've never read with this deck before. I'm going to look it up just to be 100% sure. I don't want to give information that is... Yeah, it is. Oh, thank God. All right. Yeah, the 30-year tarot reader still has to look stuff up. I don't know everything. I promise. To be sure. And there's nothing wrong with that ever. Just remember that. So it is the queen, thankfully. I got the idea just because of the card. She looks a little mad. And she's holding up a single coin, so I was concerned that it might be the one of coins or an ace of coins, but it is the queen. So again, if you've listened to any of my readings, I do a mix of traditional and intuitive readings, meaning I know and utilize the traditional meanings, but I do use some interpretive meanings as well. So when we're talking about court cards, we've got, depending on what deck you have, you basically have usually like a beginner person. So this is your, oh God, I can't even think of what it is now. My brain, it's early. I just woke up. But you have your four pieces of the court, right? You have your beginner, then you have your knowledge-based, not experiencer, and then you have your queen and king. Some people, it's the knave, the knight, the queen, and the king. There's just many, many different ways that you really can do it. As far as, how the deck is laid out. A page, that's what it is, page. So you have your page, your knight, your queen, and your king. And usually a page is like, I'm ready to go, representing a person. This is good. I'm in the court now. I have to represent. I've got to do a good job. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. But this is cool. I'm in it. The knight is like, I've read all the books and taken all the classes, and now I'm ready to go. But they haven't really experienced everything yet. And then your queen is truly the head of everything, because she's the embodiment of, or he, because queens can be both, to me, or everything in between, everything outside of that. There's no gender in these. It's just placeholders for me. So then you have your queen, who is like, I have all of the emotional stability. I am the matriarch of this. I am the protector and the holder of, not the protector, but the holder of this suit. And then the king is, I am the one that keeps everybody together. I'm the one that pulls the pieces in. I'm the embodiment of this element. So they all have a place. But this queen generally, and they usually represent people for me, whether it is you, which would be the querent person maybe asking the question or listening, or somebody that's really close to you. And I find that or figure that out usually by the other cards. This queen is you. There's no question. We have a Hierophant, which is about you. We have a Seven of Coins, which is about you. And we have this queen, which is about you. So those of you that are listening. And so the Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles, is a true earth mother. This is the representation of the earth mother, of Gaia, of everything that is nature, within and without of nature. It is the understanding of what is natural, and it is the understanding of being capable of holding and understanding and holding the things that are natural. So one of the things that Queen often represents for me in the pentacles or coins is a stability, but also a love of extravagance, of having fine things around you, of a little bit of nobility, a little bit of I am the queen, and I do want my gown made of the finest silk and my staff of the best gold. But she's not materialistic in the sense of not knowing who she is or he is. I consider myself, if I pulled a card to represent things that I am mostly, it is the Queen of Pentacles. I'm a Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Taurus Rising. I have a lot of Earth in my chart, and I like things. I like nice things. I like having things around me. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff, but I know my limit of that stuff, and I am not attached to the stuff in so much as, if God forbid, or anything forbid, my house were to burn down, the only thing I truly care about is myself, my family, my dogs, or any type of living animal in this building, in this house. So the things are nice. I like them. The Queen of Pentacles likes them. The Queen of Pentacles enjoys her things, but she knows they're not worth dying for. So it gives her a bit of a nobility, right? So think of yourself in these terms. What is your relationship with the Queen of Pentacles? Are you being over materialistic? Judging by this, I don't think so. I think in this reading, the Queen is really just saying, you've got a lot more to offer than you think. You've got a lot more in your bag than you think. So you might be shortchanging yourself a little bit in some way, shape, or form. So I would highly recommend looking at that. And so when you look at kind of the trending of these cards, you go from teacher to this need for movement in the earth realm of physically going somewhere and doing stuff. That's the 7 of coins. Now, I represent it as not hesitating or not stopping or pushing forward, physically going to do stuff with people. The card itself says mistrust. 7s are often related to things that are barriers or things that you may be concerned of, but I don't get mistrust here. And I will tell you why if you want to learn a little bit, try to teach while I'm doing it if you're interested. But to me, the 7 of coins can mean mistrust in some ways, but when you couple it with a Hierophant of teaching and receiving teaching, and this is in a very positive manner, and a Queen of Pentacles also in the same group as that card, this isn't a mistrust thing, at least not mistrust of others. This might be you just holding yourself back a little bit in some way, shape, or form. So when you read tarot or you're reading the cards, often it helps to see what the other cards are doing in that little video that you make of the cards that you pull. So the moral of the story is, or the summary for the week is, and again, remember, we do tarot energy of the week, but these energies aren't just 7 days stop and then the next 7 days stop. It is full on for that time frame, but then it continues long past that because energy doesn't just stop when things are in motion. So you need to probably have somebody in your life right now, whether it is asynchronous, meaning like through a book, through a video on YouTube. You need to follow somebody or do something that is going to teach you something, but you also need to teach somebody else something right now. That is in the cards. So that leads you again to the card we talked about, the 7. That means you need to go out and do it, not hesitate, move forward to do that. So probably not online. This is probably an in-person thing if you can. And then really bring in your Queen of Pentacles energy so that we're following and hearing all of the things that Mother Earth has to tell us. This is all about going and being with people that will challenge you but not be disrespectful, and will listen to you and not judge your responses. This is like the after show. That's what this would represent if you need an example. This is the after shows that we do. We talk about certain topics and things on podcasts or services, but afterwards it's really deep learning just about anything from everybody. Deciding what comes in and what doesn't. Deciding what to pull into your new practice or not. Asking questions, but also recognizing that no matter what stage you're in at any given point of any given topic, you're an expert in your life, so you have the ability to teach other people things. But this is this is a true earth reading. The Hierophant isn't necessarily always represented in the earth realm, but in this particular Hierophant, you've got a solid green wall and floor covering here. There's a banner. There's another name for it. I can't think of it. Which is earthy. It's gnomes, of course. We're using Tarot of the Gnomes, so we've got earth there. Hierophant is a little more high energy than that, but it is very, there is a lot of earth balance in that. So between all 3 of these cards, it makes sense that we're going to be doing things in the physical world. So I'll give a good example that fits in for me. I'm on vacation this next week from work. And the things that I'm planning to do are lots of physical things. We're going to go visit a store that we haven't been to in many years. We are going to go look at brewing equipment because we want to increase our brewing yields and stuff like that. We are making mead. I'm so excited. We bottled some of it. And just stuff like that. So we're going to continue through that and physically go out and maybe learn some new things from people, maybe teach some people some things. But you do have the ability to do that. Don't shortchange yourself. If you want to traditionally read that 7 of coins, don't mistrust yourself. Don't hesitate in the things that you're going to do, and don't hold yourself back because you're not sure. Baby steps, take them out and make it happen. You've got all the clean energy you need. So that is it for today. I do hope you enjoy the reading. I do hope you enjoy the conversation around the cards. That's my favorite part, is talking about why I pick and or feel and or see the things I do when I read. Tarot can be done in just any way you want that works for you. For me, it's about the meditation, and it's about the imagery, and it's about just what comes to my mind. I do feel like that is part of deity and part of the universal source that I tap into. But if that's not something that you do or believe in, then that is fine. You can still read cards. Anybody can. It's a very nice process. Excuse me. But I hope you did enjoy it. And if you do have any comments, please make sure to put them down below. What are your thoughts on the cards? And if you have anything else you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. Subscribe and like if you want to see more. And we will see you next week for SaTAROTday.